Hello and welcome back. It's MC1 Gamer with an update. Convert this. This is a model that I'm converting for Anthony at the Sustainable Center. One of two. Maybe a little hard to see just because the character on top is kind of painted a little bit, and you can't really tell any of the details. I'm not sure if that's going to get painted over, but this is a palanquin for the Skaven army, and it has a bunch of elite storm vermin that are holding this platform. And the platform is not complete. There's going to be a lot of adornments on it still, but the basis for it has been completed. And the main thing is that this gives, and from the fluff, it's supposedly a Skaven Warlord, or a Skaven character who has seen maybe the dwarves holding the Lord on shield bearers, and they decided they wanted to do something similar. And these can be usually in theme of whatever army they may have defeated. It could be orky in nature, or just ramshackled together with whatever materials they want. So just in terms of the work that was put in so far, because there's still quite a lot that's going to be going into this. Well, next things that are going to be done, I'm going to be putting. Let's move this to the side a little bit. I'm putting a couple of banners on, not the same one on either side, but then I'm going to be removing the arm and then adorning it with certain types of bits. A couple of what really is going to be making this set apart is the trophies that I'm going to be having put along the front and maybe the side. Some shields, but I have some heads from various different types of races, and those will be hanging from the shaft that holds the standard, and will be hanging up from either side, so that the Skaven can prominently show off his conquests, and just for the the nature of having to paint this, because you can imagine just looking at it, if it was all complete and then glued together, it'd be hard to get in there so that you can properly paint it. So I'm modeling it so that it's easy to see where the Grey Seer is going to be, or I don't know if it's Grey Seer or Warlord is going to be sitting. He's got kind of an area here that it can be situated, excuse me, and then it can be adjusted. And I cut him down so that he has what looks like actually it can be painted as a plank, as opposed to the big stone that he was hanging on. So let's put him aside. Got a little rat kind of stowaway over there. And then just to look at the actual palanquin itself. I mean, it's all wooden pieces, so it's all pieces like this that I've cut up and sliced some down the middle, various different pieces. It should definitely look a little ramshackle. And then the platform, before I even started, is 2 layers. So I'll actually divulge the little secret that I have here, and that is that it actually comes off so that it can be painted up. I mean, this hasn't been flocked yet. There's still a lot of work to be done. So I have the legs. These came from an actual pre-based, and you could see somewhat painted already figures. I'm not sure if it's going to get reprimed and then painted again. That's just the decision of the person I'm doing this for. But I left a little bit of space on the bottom of each of the feet, so that when I flock this, because I'm going to do some flocking for, just so that that's gotten out of the way, I want to make sure that it's a complete model ready to paint. That should look good. That should, so you can see it's just a little bit raised. And then these guys, these guys have, they have their arms adjoined, but that's not quite enough really to hold it up aloft. So when I built this, and I'll put this aside now, and I could take a look at this. When I built this, again, this took a couple of rounds because you have to wait for the glue to dry. So this is, I did 1 row going north to south, and this row going east to west. Made sure they aligned up properly, and then so that's 2 rows there. And then this is a third row, just to keep the character from sliding around too much. So he has a lane here. I'm leaving this back because he's got to have some place to walk in and out. I mean, it would make sense. All these planks, you know, they're uneven. They should be. All the pictures that you see of people making them, it's kind of thrown together, or maybe it was an orky thing that they had taken over. So I split a couple of these in half to make it look uneven, different sizes, and you can see that it looks, you know, just to make it look like it's appropriate proportions, I dremeled out a few things. I mean, I dremeled the edges, and then used a couple of different things. Used a Dremel like that to, you know, to cut out the underside pieces that are appropriate and match to the fists. And then there's some of these side planks actually sit on the shoulder, a couple of these guys, so it actually fits really nicely. Once you get it in there in the right slot, you can still see them, which is important. And I think on the back, just for stability, it hits the guy's shoulder just a little bit. So it's working out really nice in terms of, you know, the size, and plenty of room to adorn with a lot of different things. And then I used, you know, this edge piece with the Dremel to cut the little notches, make it look like it's, you know, a weathered and chipped up pieces of wood. And of course, just simple, you know, PVA glue to put it together. It is wood. The challenge is going to be to put anything plastic onto this, or metal, with the right type of glue. And typically what I would do is, you know, I would try to, what I'm probably going to do is I'm trying to pin stuff in. I've got these really small copper nails, and I'll pin some stuff onto it. So probably get like some of these shields that I have, or other adornments that are going to be hanging from sides, and I'll probably pin some stuff in. But really, you know, the sides are not done. What I'm going to do is I have these pieces. These are kind of, you know, metal. They're flexible, these pieces. This is what I like these. So they move around. I was going to use plastic card, but plastic card's very rigid. And I like the idea of using these because they give the sense that it's still a sheet of metal, and you can adjust it. It can wrap around things. So what I'm hoping to do is have something like, you know, have one piece. Well, this is a little bit large, so let's use this one. Have one piece on one side kind of go down like that, and then have another kind of overlap it like that. Again, kind of like shackled together, not exactly uniform or clean, or, you know, too pretty. I don't think the Skaven are concerned about that. And then add on to, you know, with maybe a couple of these very tiny nails, these little itty bitty copper nails that'll look like it's nailed in. Well, it will be nailed in. Excuse me. So that's some of the work that's continuing, and that will be happening. And again, once this is completed, I'm going to move on to the next part of the project, which was taking another one of these models and putting it on top of a giant rat ogre, kind of like a mounted figure that's going to sit within a unit. Could be, you know, the general of the unit, a warlord or whatnot. But so far this is coming out pretty good, and you know, there's still some work to be done, but I wanted to make sure that it wasn't completely glued, so that all this stuff can be removed, and the person who's painting it will have access on all sides and deep within to actually paint it up and really make it look nice, and you know, still be able to get all the nice details, and then put it together, you know, at their leisure when they want to, you know, complete it. But the actual, you know, the actual converting work will be done enough so that you can see that even now it could be put on the table and would be stable. You know, it wouldn't just fall apart. You know, look, I'm shaking that pretty good. He's going to come off if I shake it well enough, so he really should be tacked down somehow. But once this is complete, it'll be a non-issue. But, you know, you want to be able to paint the guy. It's kind of hard to get in these deep recesses with paintbrushes when they're all already put together. So I'm going to leave it like that. So here's, you know, that's this the most recent convert this. I've got a couple more. This one, and I'm going to show more progress as I get further in, and then I have the next one that I have, you know, the next stage of that. And once I complete these two, which are, you know, kind of commissioned work, it was done through mostly a trade, I will move on to some of the other projects I have on deck. And, you know, I'm willing to do stuff like this for people. I mean, I would be willing to do it for trade or for, you know, some kind of a cash deal, or, you know, we could figure something out. But if you have a really, you know, interesting project that you're looking for, feel free to reach out to me, and maybe we can work something out. I'm happy to do it. The best way for me to do it is to have a picture being sent that is what you want to emulate. If you want to give me a little bit of creative license, I can go and you know, try to use a little bit of little imagination to, you know, make it a little bit unique. But I can also just duplicate whatever I see in the pictures to the best of my ability. And furthermore, you're going to have to, if you want to do this, you're going to have to supply basically all the bits. I mean, this I had a ton of bits that were given to me, 99% of which are probably going to go back to Anthony. He gave me like about 30, you know, maybe 20 or 30 of these storm vermin to pick the best ones with the right, you know, the right poses that would be able to fit underneath the palanquin and be able to situate onto the base. You know, I picked the best four that I think were, you know, good for the job. You all were pretty equal, but, you know, some of them had two hands on their halberds, so it didn't quite look as good. In any case, if you are looking to do stuff like this for yourself, which, you know, I highly encourage you try, you're going to need certain types of tools, which I'm sure that if you've ever done any type of converting, you know, some of the basics. You'll need a little, you know, sharp knife. I like having, you know, a piece like this also, because I can, you know, I can do a little molding through if it's any wood, or if I'm going to do any green stuff. I love having a little piece like that on the end of one of the tools, because it really helps you with doing a little sculpting. So it's nice to have a couple of sculpting tools, you know, clippers, of course. But the real thing that works for me is this Dremel. This Dremel is definitely the MVP of, and I've got a couple other, you know, attachments just for grinding purposes and cutting. I slice through pieces and then smooth them out with this. And there's a bunch of different heads. If you're using a Dremel, just a little tidbit, be very careful. You don't want to lose a finger. And I definitely got a couple of you know, close calls, just because as much as you're paying attention, sometimes, you know, a piece when you're grinding, especially using this piece, you got to make sure that you're very careful, because sometimes this piece will grind and then it will slide. So you do not want to be in its way when it slides. You want to try and have a good firm grip on not just the Dremel itself, but on the piece. But you know, not so rigid that if it does decide to go fly off on its own, because remember, this is spinning, that it's going to go into something vital that you don't want to lose. So, and then the next thing I can suggest is make sure that you have proper eye care, because little pieces of plastic with either of these things will fly off in all directions. So a pair of goggles will help, you know, protect your eye in a big way. So there you have it. If you're interested in having a conversion done, or if you want some advice on conversions, feel free to post comments. I would be happy to discuss you know, a project that you have, or if you're looking to get one done. Beyond that, you know, I'd be happy to get feedback if people have any ideas or thoughts on what they'd like to see something like this look like. I mean, the person I'm doing this for is pretty flexible. He's pretty much left it in my hands to become creative, but he's giving me some pretty good pictures with some you know, just really great detail from other people's conversions. I don't want to 100% copy it, but I want to get, you know, I really want to, you know, get close to the theme of it. So I'm happy to get any, you know, feedback and suggestions. My biggest thing is what kind of glue I can use that will work on both wood and plastic, that will really firmly adhese a piece of plastic to that wood. Right now I've got a workaround that I've got, you know, just a tacking of this, and then, you know, we'll see how that turns out. I think it'll turn out pretty good. But, you know, we're always looking for advice from people that, you know, have their own conversion experience and secrets or techniques that they want to share. I hope you enjoy this, and keep looking out for more my content, from battle reports to campaign scenarios to analysis, my war point of view on things, and any rumors that I hear that I want to aggregate and share with you if you happen to not hear about them. I'm looking forward to other people's videos as well. I am definitely a watcher, not just a submitter. So everybody, hey, have a great day.